What's up, poker players? Hope you guys are out there crushing it on the tables. In today's video, we're going to take a look at some of the sessions from the last couple days. We've gotten a little bit over 7,700 hands this month, won a few bucks, pretty good win rate. Let's jump right into the action. We happened to win the 7 biggest pots that we got in over the first 9 days of this month, including 2 very big pots with pocket aces. We're going to start it out at the 10NL table. We have pocket 5s in the big blind. 7 players dealt into this one. Folds around to the cutoff, who opens to 4.4x. Pretty big open, but we can tell by the stats that our opponent is a recreational player, very loose and aggressive, extremely high bet numbers, extremely low fold numbers, and is starting out the hand with a little bit less than 120 big blinds, setting us up perfect to get in a big pot. We, of course, are going to make the call here, and that is a pretty amazing flop for our 5s. It is draw heavy. That would connect with a lot of cutoff opening raise range. Check to our opponent, who has a 67% bet on flop percentage, and he does not disappoint, makes it 70 cents, and we elect to check raise on this flop, being so draw heavy, and our opponent only folds 13% to check raises. That is way too low, and we can cash in on him not folding many hands in this spot. He does not disappoint and decides to jam all in. This, of course, is going to be an easy spot with a set of 5s against an extremely loose aggressive player, only being behind sets of 10s and queens here. So we, of course, do make a call, and we wind up hitting a 5 on the turn, locking the hand up for us. Our opponent had King Jack offsuit for an outside straight draw, backdoor flush draw. We got it in at a 72% favorite, and we take down this pot of 22.34. Not a bad start. Next hand we're going to take a look at is also at the 10NL table. We have ace queen suited, playing from under the gun, plus 8 players being dealt into this hand, and we have 100 big blinds to start the hand. We, of course, open to 3x. We get a call from the cutoff, and the big blind also comes along. 3 of us go to a flop, 95 cents in the pot pre-flop. Flop is pretty good. We have the nut flush draw, as well as 2 overcards. Big blind checks, and now we have a choice to make, whether to open or check and let Goat Balls go ahead. We can tell Goat Balls plays very tight, doesn't bet a lot of flops, not a very aggressive game. So I think putting in a bet here would probably be a little bit better, which is what I do. Bet about 2/3 pot. Goat Balls does call, and the big blind also calls. There's our money card. We hit the nuts on the turn. Actually, it's not the nuts. There are 3 straight flush draw possibilities, which could be slightly scary. I could see either of these players playing the 8-9 of diamonds, or the big blind possibly coming along with the 8-4, more likely 4-3 of diamonds. Big blind checks. I also elect to check, and Goat Balls puts in a bet of about half pot. Big blind calls, and now we have another decision. We already know that Goat Balls plays pretty tight and isn't going to be betting a lot of his hands right here, especially with the flush coming in. The only hand we're really behind that Goat Balls could have would be the 8-9 of diamonds. All the other flushes we are ahead of, and we don't want to let either of these players catch up if they did wind up flopping a set. So I put in a raise here. I make it 530. Goat Balls calls, and the big blind gets out of the way. So we know that the only hand we are really behind of right now is one combination, 8-9 of diamonds. 10 comes in. We're going to get calls from any 8 and any flush, so we can go ahead and continue betting, get the rest of the chips in, and we do get a call from the flush. That is not the straight flush, and we take down this pot of 21.15. Next hand we're going to look at is at the 25NL table. We have pocket 9s playing from the small blind. 8 players dealt into this hand. Under the gun, plus 2 opens to a little bit less than 3x. We elect to just make a call, and the big blind also comes along. Flop is 10-9-8 rainbow. We flop middle set, check, and we get a continuation bet from the under the gun plus 2 player. Elect to just make a call here, and the big blind also calls as well. We go to a turn, which is the 2 of hearts. There are now 2 hearts on the board. Elect to check again, and we get another big bet of $5. Now we're kind of in a tough spot. There are quite a few combos of Queen Jack out there that we are behind. Possibly 6-7 suiteds 4 combos of that. But this is a very draw heavy board. There are a ton of drawing hands within both of these players' ranges. So I do make a call here, and the big blind jams all in. We get a fold from Under the Gun +2, and now we have a decision for a little bit more than $17, pretty much our entire stack. We're getting better than 2-to-1 odds right here. Call me Bosch. We only have 196 hands in our Hold'em Manager database. Looks to be a pretty solid player though. Might have to change that opinion after this, but it's not a terrible way to play this hand. You can probably get a lot of one pair type hands to fold out when you do make this play. Pretty draw heavy with the flush and gut shot straight draw, so you can't really hate on this play, but I don't think it's that hard of a decision with the set of 9s here. There is a chance we run into a queen jack or a 6-7, but we do make the call, and we see that we are a 70-30 favorite going into the river, which winds up missing his draws, and we take down this pot of 55-59. Pots are getting bigger. Next hand we're going to look at is also at the 25 NL table. We have pocket kings, Under the Gun +2, Under the Gun +1 limps. We isolate 135. We get a call from the player to our left. Small blind also calls, and the big blind puts in a raise, makes it $6. Big blind has a pretty tight 3-bet range, only 6%, is a solid player, and is doing 3 bets most of the time, almost always, with premium hands. The only premium hand that we are behind right now is, of course, pocket aces. If we jam here, we're going to get the rest of the players to fold out, most likely. And there's a good possibility that Shuma folds as well. So I think this is a great spot to just flat, which is what I do. The other 2 players do fold, and we have 14.95 going into the flop. Flop is queen high, 2-tone, 2 clubs on the board. Not the greatest flop for us. Could be worse though. We could have an ace out there. But we are now behind pocket queens, which very well could be within our opponent's 3-bet range pre-flop. And we are ahead of ace kings, and ace king is probably going to be a little hesitant with this flop. He does lead out for $7.10, and I'm just going to be calling down the entire way here. There's no reason to put in a raise here. We're only going to get hands that beat us to call when we put in a raise, except for maybe an ace-queen suited, which there are 3 combinations of. And there's our money card on the turn. We now have top set on a very draw heavy board. This time our opponent checks, but there are no combinations of premium hands that will ever fold in this spot, so we can easily get our money in, which is what I do. And we of course do get a call from the ace king here, and we take down this pot of 63-21. Next hand we're going to take a look at is at the 100 NL, building that bankroll back up, getting into a couple of 100 NL games, playing a little short-handed this time, only 5 of us being dealt into this one. Saw a good opportunity at this table being against no regular players. We have 14 hands on 3 of them and 1 on the other. Cutoff opens to 2.5x. Button makes a call. Small blind also makes a call, and we are sitting in the big blind with pocket rockets. The question is, how much should we raise to in this spot? Breaking Bread has a VPIP of 50%, small sample size. Same with Mighty Dark, extremely small sample size, but 100% so far. I think we can actually make this raise pretty big and still expect calls from both of these players. I make it $14. Cutoff calls, and the button jams. Small blind gets out of the way, and now we have a decision whether to jam the rest of our chips in or try to string along Breaking Bread. I elect for that option, even though we will be out of position when Breaking Bread does call, but he's only going to have like $40-some left, making him pot committed, and he really never should be folding. If he makes this call, he's pretty much going to be in for the rest of this hand. So I call, and we do get a call from Breaking Bread. Flop is 2-tone, 7 high, 164 in the pot. Like I said, he's only got $46 left in his stack. Don't want to give a free card away to something like a pair of 8s, 9s, 10s, possibly jacks that could be there. So I get the rest of the chips in, and we do get a call from Breaking Bread. He's actually got a pretty good hand drawing to the flush. It's a little bit scary going into the turn and river here. Mighty Dark is drawing to a 6. Turn is the Jack of Hearts. Let's just avoid a spade or a 6 on the river. We do, and we take down this $256 pot with the pair of aces. Oh my, looks like we have a cooler of all coolers. Pocket aces at the 50 NL table. We are playing pretty deep, a little bit less than 150 big blinds. We open to 3.5x. We get a 3-bet from Dollars Print in the cutoff, and we get a jam from Yoda in the big blind. Just like last hand, we have the decision to get the rest of our chips in here or just make a call. I like just calling with the aces, especially against Dollars Print, who doesn't like to fold post flop. So we can probably string along a lot of Dollar Print's drawing hands that would be here. So I do just make the call. Dollars Print does all the work for us, gets the rest of the chips in, easy call with aces, and somehow we avoid hitting a queen or a king. We actually hit an ace on the river. That doesn't really mean anything, but we take down this pot of $146, giving us our biggest big blind pot of the beginning of this month. And that is where we're going to wrap it up. We are reviewing these sessions on Hold'em Manager 2, which is what I use for my on-table HUD as well. Links for that, as well as America's Card Room, where I do all of my poker playing, are down in the video description. Hope you guys learned something from this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, or you think I should have played a hand differently, let me know down in the comments section. I love talking poker with all of you guys, so make sure you hit me up down there. I'll be back soon with a new video, but until then, I'll see you guys out on the virtual felt. Be free.